everyone. As promised, I will be reading a fanfic today for Fanfiction Friday, even though it's Sunday, for the month of September. The first one we're reading is Fight for Survival Choices by Blaze June 2500. I'm only going to be reading the first chapter since it's 85 chapters long. So if this thing I'm doing goes well, we can probably go through the next chapter. Go through the, go through the next 4 episodes of this. Anyway, Fight for Survival Choices. Summary: the following is the story of Follow the story of Lee Everett and Victor Caulfield as they do everything they can to survive in this harsh new world they were forced to live in. An interactive story inspired by voice from under the covers. The Walking Dead, but your choices actually matter. I don't own The Walking Dead. I own the OCs though. Sorry if you find any grammar mistakes. I'm still learning English because it's not my first language. Also, these are for longer fanfics. I'm going to split these videos into 15 minutes. Okay, let's start. This isn't how Victor Caulfield envisioned his trip to Georgia with his friends. A 19-year-old brown-haired young man traveled all the way to Georgia from his hometown with 3 of his friends from school, and a few days ago, unaware of what was ahead of him and his friends. The idea for this trip came from his best friend since elementary school, who was known by his family and peers as Simon Marsh. He came up with an idea of this trip because he was the only one of the group of friends who had been to Georgia before and wanted to show his friends around. A few days later, after he made this suggestion, the group of friends packed everything they needed for this trip into Simon's van and left. They didn't have to worry about booking a hotel or a motel for themselves because Simon's family owned a house in Georgia which they came to a few times a year. The group of friends came to regret their decision a few days later because it was when all hell broke loose. The dead had risen from the ground and began to swallow the town, taking every living person in their way with it. Everyone around them were in panic as if the world was ending. Cars were being either flipped over or abandoned, which blocked many roads. People were being killed by either the dead or the living. There were even many people who couldn't take what was happening around them anymore and ended their own lives. This is where Victor and his other friend Veronica Dawson found themselves, and Victor went with his friend into the nearby woods in order to study the wonders of nature with her, as Simon and the last member of their group, named Jessica Robbins, went into town to get a few things from a grocery store. Unaware of what's happening at the moment, Victor was honest with himself. He wasn't really interested in studying nature as much as Veronica, and went in the forest with her for her sake. His friend was interested in nature for as long as he knew her and would often invite him to hang out with her to study it with her. He never complained about having to go with her despite his lack of interest in this subject because he always enjoyed hanging out with her. They didn't remain in the forest for long and quickly left it though because they got an unpleasant chance to encounter a few of those sick people who were supposed to be dead. The group of the sick people they had stumbled upon was walking around aimlessly and didn't seem to notice them, but Victor and Veronica didn't want to try their luck and left the forest shortly after coming across them. They quickly made their way back to the house they were staying in, not wanting to encounter more of them. They waited for Jessica and Simon to return. Luckily, they didn't have to wait long as Simon and Jessica rushed into the house several minutes later. Alert shutting the door behind him as if his life depended on it. Guys, Victor smiled the moment his friend appeared in his view. He wore a hoodie which is black on the chest with an army patterns on the sleeves and hood, with a black shirt with a large white skull underneath it. gray pants and red shoes. He felt how he he felt how he felt relief overcome his whole body as Simon and Jessica walked into the room. The two of them, especially Simon, looked out of breath. Hey, Simon smiled back at him as he took a deep breath to catch his breath, looking quite relieved to see his friend himself. He had short, dirty blonde hair. He wore a hoodie shirt and a white t-shirt with a black handprint underneath it, blue pants, and black shoes. Jessica, who was standing next to him, didn't seem so relieved, though, as she seemed to be bothered by something. Good to know two of you made it back to our house. Is the situation in the forest as bad as in the town? It is, Veronica nodded in confirmation, seeming unsolvable by what she had seen in the forest. She wore glasses over her nose and had black hair that reached her shoulders, which she always kept in a ponytail. She wore a gray jacket with a black shirt and with a lizard on it underneath it, blue jeans and black boots. We ran back to our house as fast as we could after seeing a few of those people. Be glad you did. You didn't go into the town with us. Shaman shook his head. Images of the things he had seen in the town flying to his head. What you saw in the forest was nothing compared to what's happening here. Vlog guessed. The situation in the town is that bad? Yeah, someone confided with a nod of his head. I can't even find the right words to describe. To you. Just imagine finding yourself in the middle of the woods, which you don't want to have nothing to do with. This is what happened to me and Jess. He looked at Jessica, who was looking at him with a worried look on her face. We'd even reached the grocery store as we went back to as fast as we could. It was something on Simon's arm that caught Victor's attention. The blonde-haired young man narrowed his eyes, wanting to take a better look at it, and felt how they widened a few seconds later. It was when he noticed a bite on Simon's wrist. Uh-oh. Simon? He called out for him, wanting to know what happened to his best friend as soon as possible. Simon looked at him as Victor gestured to the bite, feeling himself becoming worried of his friend. What is it? Is that a bite? Veronica looked at Victor with a questioning look on her face. She shifted her gaze back to Simon a second later. She gasped on setting her eyes on Simon's wound. What happened to you? What happened to you? Yeah, this is nothing. Simon tried to brush his wound off as nothing important. One of those people lunged for Jessica when we were making our way back to you. I got in between them before he could reach her, and he ended up biting me in response. Don't brush it off as nothing, Jessica said in worry as she spoke up for the first time since she entered the house. She had long blonde hair which reached her hips. She wore a light blue shirt, brown pants, and blue boots. At first, it seemed a bit weird for Victor and Veronica, but the two of them ultimately concluded that she was just trying to calm herself down after witnessing what had happened in the town. She's right. We should take you to a hospital. Veronica agreed with her as Victor nodded in agreement. No. Simon shook his head. I appreciate the worry, but it might be too dangerous to go to a hospital right now. Considering the stuff that is happening in the town, I'll be fine. Are you sure? Jessica said, worried still evident in her voice. You look worse for these patchy moments. I'm fine. Simon insisted on being fine, even though he had to admit he wasn't feeling so good. I'll be as good as new tomorrow. You'll see. We should worry about another thing right now. He looked at Veronica and Victor and revealed to them. Me and Jess were followed. What are you talking about? A car followed me and Jess back to our house, Simon explained. He shouldn't know which house we just hit him because he didn't manage to reach us before we made our way into our house, but we should be cautious around him. Do you really think we should be cautious around him? Jessica asked, seeming to have second thoughts about not touching the stranger. I took a quick look at his car before turning the corner. It looked like to be a police car to me. Are you sure about this? Someone asked as she was lit. No, Jessica shook her head. No, I didn't have enough time. As soon as those words left her mouth, everyone gathered in the house to hear the sound of someone stopping their car in the middle of the street of the neighborhood. The house they were staying was located. the group of four quickly made their way to the window in the house from where they would get a good look at the street. They crouched down in front of the window and allowed themselves to take a good look at the street, doing their best not to get spotted by whoever was who just parked the vehicle there. They saw a single man walking along the street. A police car was standing behind him. He had dark skin and wore a police uniform. He was wielding a pistol, ready to use at any moment. You can come out now. I saw you take a turn around this area, the stranger shouted. You don't need to worry about me doing anything to you. I'm a police officer. I'm here to help you. Look at this car. Look at this car and clothes, Walker pointed out, growing hopeful about the stranger. Perhaps this police officer will help. Perhaps this police officer will help them get through what is happening right now outside the door of the house. Chica was right. Perhaps he is a police officer. Well, if he's not a police officer, Fireman's voiced skepticism. One of those slurs from the town club easily stole all the stuff and used it to mask himself as a police officer to make himself look trustworthy to other people, to make them trust him. Victor tilted his head to look at his friend and said, Do you really think that's possible? Yes. Someone nodded confident. You haven't seen the town, man. The looters were stealing everything around them. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them managed to steal all this stuff from a police officer. I see, Victor nodded. Varga looked at Jigsaw. What do you think, Jess? Do what you want. I don't really care if we trust him or not. Jessica replied, not counting to her friends, if her friends trusted the officer or not. Simon is what we need to focus on right now, not some stranger on the street. Simon looked at Varga. Someone looked at Victor. You're the swing vote, man. What should we do? I would say A, give the stranger a chance to call out for him. B, do nothing and wait for the man to leave the area. And these are the stats. I'll let you read this by pausing the video. And obviously, it's already happened, so we'll move on to the next chapter. Okay. Okay, slow into the connection. Anyway, oh no, there it is. We need to give him a chance. Victor made his decision to side with Varga on the matter of the stranger on the street. His eyes set on Simon. I understand you're being cautious of everything you see in the town, Simon, but we can't avoid every person we meet. Varga smiled, gladdened by Victor taking us on the way. Thanks, Vic. Alright, Simon sighed, unsure if his friend made the right decision. I just hope this decision won't kick us in the butt. You and me both. Victor nodded as he stood up in a standing position. He opened the window and called out to the man on the street. Hey, over there! The stranger on the street shifted his attention to him as soon as he heard him call out for him. His pistol away. Don't shoot! Me and my friends mean no harm to you. The stranger on the street lowered his pistol. The reason he had no use to use it. He seemed to be quite relieved by the text. You're not one of those things. No, I'm with the people you just followed on the street. I see. The stranger nodded, holstering his pistol. Would you mind if I entered your house? No, go ahead. We'll be waiting for you in the living room. The stranger on the street nodded his head and began making his way to the front door. Victor closed the window and sat down on the couch next to the window next to Varga. He had his friends waiting for the stranger to enter the house. They didn't have to wait long. The stranger from the street entered their house and made his way into the living room only a brief moment later. The first thing he did upon entering the house was eyeing the group of four people who just invited him into the house. You two, he said, as he set his eyes on Tom and Jessica. You were the ones I saw waiting on the street. Yeah, someone nodded. Sorry we just ran into our house while trying to make a contact with you. We didn't know if we could trust you. You could have easily been one of those lures from the town. It's alright, Andre assured them that no harm was done. I completely understand why you were being cautious around me. I'm aware of what's happening in the town right now. Simon and Jessica nodded their heads at him. My name is Andre. The stranger introduced himself to them. Andre Mitchell. Victor Caulfield. People call me Vic. Victor introduced himself to him. My friends are over there. They are Varga Dawson. Varga nodded, offered Andre a friendly wave. Hi there. Simon Marsh. Simon was left to Victor to introduce to Andre. Simon. Hello. Simon greeted the police officer with a nod of his head as Andre noticed that there was something wrong with him as soon as he set his eyes on him. Jessica Robbins, or Jess if you prefer. Jessica was the last person. Jessica Robbins, or Jess if you prefer. Jessica was the last person who was introduced to Andre by Victor. Jessica stayed silent. Jessica Robbins, or Jess if you prefer. Jessica was the last person who was introduced to Andre by Victor. Jessica stayed silent, staring at Simon with a worried look on her face, which made Andre narrow his eyes at him. It's nice to meet all of you. Andre took his eyes off Andre a second, smiled at the people who just invited into the house. It's nice to finally come across some friendly faces with all the chaos that's happening in this town. Same here, Simon smiled slightly in response, relieved to see that Andre turned to be one of those sleuths from town. I saw stuff like that in the movies and all the news, but never thought I had to witness it with my own eyes. Is this your house? Andre asked as he eyed the room he was in right now. It's family, so replied. Like me and my family would come here a few times a year. I took my friends on a trip here to Chocolate Mountain. Now I'm starting to wish that I did. At least we wouldn't be with our families right now if I didn't. Don't blame yourself for taking us here, Jessica told him in an attempt to make him feel better. You took us here because you wanted to take us on a trip. You had no idea what would happen in the following days. She's right, buddy. Victor agreed with Jessica. You can't have projected what would happen in the following days. Did you try to contact them? Andre wanted to know. Yes, Vargos. I tried calling my parents, and after I and Vic came back to the house after those sick people chased us out the force, the phone didn't want to work, no matter how many times I tried to use it. I see. Andre nodded innocently, looking to be genuinely sorry for them. I'm sorry to hear it. I can't imagine how it must be for all of you. At least we're not alone in this mess, Victor stated. Someone coughed into a sound. Yeah. Where were you hanging before this? Before you started following me and Simon. Where were you hiding before you started following me and Simon? Jessica asked as Simon coughed. Didn't go unnoticed by Andre. When I and Simon were running back to our house, I saw you take us inside once you noticed us. I was heading out of town. It's too dangerous to be out here right now, Andre explained. The family I am friends with is on the farm. I thought about staying at the farm for the night and figuring out what to do next in the morning. A farm? Victor asked, seeming to be slightly intrigued by it. Yeah, Andre confirmed with a nod. It's actually not too far from here. Could you take us there? Varg asked. Someone looked at her. Are you sure about this? It might be safe for us right now, Varg pointed out to him. Who knows when the lures from the town will move it from there into our neighborhood? Who knows how long? Who knows when the lures from the town will move to our neighborhood? The forest not too far from us, too. Those sick people will move out from the forest sooner or later. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be anywhere near the forest when that happens. You're right, Simon admitted to his friends to be right, and looked down to like my friend over here asked, could you take us to a farm? Sure, Andre nodded with a smile. I'm sure Herschel will let you guys stay in the barn for the night. Thank you, Varga smiled at Andre with a grateful manner. Simon wiped the sweat going down his forehead. We should head out as well. It's starting to get dark soon. Good thing we have your van, Victor looked at Simon. No doubt the five of us will be squishing on his cruiser. Yeah, Simon agreed with his best friend. Does any of you know how to shoot? Andre wanted to know one more thing before they leave for Herschel's farm. We might end up coming across something on our way to the farm. I want to know if you know how to defend yourselves if this ends up happening. Tom and Jessica and Varga shook their heads. None of them had a chance and need to use a gun before. Victor hesitantly nodded as he had small experience with guns, if he could call it an experience. I shot my grandfather's air gun several times, Victor explained with an uncertain look. It was a long time ago. I thought, even then I wouldn't call my shooting skills anything extraordinary. It's still better than nothing, Andre stated, glad that at least one of them knew how to shoot, as he motioned to Victor to follow him. Come with me, I'll get a gun from my cruiser. Victor nodded his head as he got from the couch and walked over to Andre. They walked out of the room and into the hallway from where they walked through the exit of the house. They walked over to Andre's closet and Andre opened the door to the driver's seat as Victor stood behind him. Andre reached down into his vehicle as Victor watched him from the spot, patiently waiting for him to pull out the gun he was going to give him. A shotgun? A shotgun? Victor eyes wide in surprise after seeing Andre take us for close. Do you think it's a good idea to give me for me to have one? I told you my shooting skills are the best. Don't worry, I am planning to give you it. Shotgun is for me. Andre smiled, slightly amused by Victor's reaction. He reached into his holster and pulled out the pistol he was holding a few moments ago when he was standing in the street. He held it out to me. Here, take it. You'll give it back to me once we reach the farm. Okay, Victor nodded his head as he took the pistol from Andre, hoping he wouldn't get a chance to use it. Is there something I should know before we head out of town with to your friend's farm? 8 foot ahead if we come across some of those teams, I won't have any other chance to kill them, Andre explained. I had to kill a few of them today. They will walk away if you shoot them in the torso as if nothing happened, but will immediately die if you shoot them in the head. Got it, Victor nodded in the same repeating Andre's advice. He turned away from him and was about to make his way back to the house. We should get the others. Simon was right. It's starting to get dark soon. Can I ask you something before we get with your friends? Andre wanted to know. No. Sure. Victor stopped in his tracks and looked over his shoulder. What is it? Is there something wrong with Simon? Andre asked as Victor's eyes slightly widened. I know something was wrong with him when you were introducing yourself and your friends to me. Victor stared at Andre over his shoulder, debating with himself if he should tell Andre about Simon's bite or stay silent about it. And this is the end of part 1. I will be back when I get some water.